I don't think this is a personality trait. Like sometimes people are like, oh, well, they're just an optimist. Look, you may be, that may play a tiny role in your life prior to you being born again. But now that you're born again, like you have a new nature. You should be hopefully optimistic all the time, because that's what faith and hope are, is the expectation of God's good. So there's no room for a Christian pessimist. Why? Because that's the opposite of faith. That's the confident expectation of bad. And without faith, it's impossible to please God. That means what? Your nature as a born-again son or daughter of God should be that you are confidently expecting to see His goodness. So does that just happen when you get born again? No, that's built up and fostered based on what you're pouring your life into and who's pouring their life into you. He's a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him. If I don't diligently seek Him, should I expect the same reward, which is more of Him, knowing Him more, being more confident in Him, being more steadfast in Him, having more trust in His faithfulness? If I don't diligently seek Him, should I expect the same reward as the one who does? Should I look around and go, well, that's unfair. God must love them more. They must have something I don't. They must have been born that way. That's their personality. That's because they're a fill in the blank with your favorite personality test. That's why they're that way. It's like, well, that might have played a small part in who they were before they were born again. But the truth of the matter is, now that they're born again, all of those things are supposed to be brought into submission to Him. And the end result is that all of us should be hopefully expecting to see the goodness of God. You may be more wired that way naturally. That's why you're not to live by your nature, not by your flesh, not by who you were. You're supposed to live by the new nature, the divine nature that you've become a partaker of now that you're in Christ Jesus. Does that mean that certain people will have to focus on certain things more than others because of the way that they were trained? Yes, that's how we're transformed by the renewing of our mind. If you are naturally pessimistic, you may have to actually pour yourself into God's promises and what you believe about them more than the person who was naturally optimistic now that they're born again. That may be true. There may be some things that play into that, but the truth of the matter is none of us have an excuse to live pessimistically when the hope of glory is inside of us.